Ever wonder what happens when an internet empire completely vanishes? Before Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok, there was MySpace. In 2006, it was the most visited website in the United States, outperforming Google. Rupert Murdoch's News Corp bought it for a staggering $580 million, believing they owned the future of human communication. A few years later, it was practically worthless. So how do you lose $500 million and the largest audience on Earth in less than 5 years? Let's rewind to the early 2000s. The internet was still a quiet place. Then came MySpace. It wasn't just a website, it was a cultural explosion. It was where you learned to code HTML to change your background. It's where you discovered bands like the Arctic Monkeys. And it's where you spent hours agonizing over who made your top 8 friends list. By 2005, the site was registering hundreds of thousands of new users every single day. Traditional media companies panicked. They realized teenagers weren't watching TV anymore, they were staring at their computer screens. A massive bidding war erupted, and Rupert Murdoch swooped in, writing a $580 million check to buy MySpace. At the time, people thought Murdoch had pulled off the greatest heist in tech history, and for a brief moment, he had. But behind closed doors, a massive, fatal mistake had just been made. You see, a tech startup moves fast, a corporate media empire does not. Almost immediately, News Corp started treating MySpace less like a software company and more like a magazine. They needed to justify that $500 million price tag, so they did what traditional media does. They sold ads, a lot of them. In 2006, MySpace signed a massive $900 million deal with Google to display ads on the site. Sounds like a win, right? Here's the catch. To hit those aggressive revenue targets, MySpace had to plaster the platform with heavy, flashing, intrusive banners. The site slowed to an absolute crawl. Spam bots ran wild. Fake profiles multiplied.
Then, a plot twist no one at News Corp saw coming. A year prior, in 2005, a young college kid had actually walked into the MySpace offices. He offered to sell his rival startup to the MySpace founders for just $75 million. The executives laughed him out of the room. That kid was Mark Zuckerberg. While MySpace was drowning in flashing ads and corporate bureaucracy, Zuckerberg's platform was opening to the public. Facebook didn't have customizable, chaotic backgrounds. It didn't have auto-playing music. It was clean, fast, and engineered to perfection. The contrast was brutal. When MySpace engineers wanted to build a new feature, they had to send proposals through a maze of corporate lawyers and executives. What took Facebook days to launch took MySpace months just to get approved. The code holding MySpace together was turning into a tangled mess. The site broke constantly. By 2008, the unthinkable happened. Facebook quietly surpassed MySpace in global traffic. The dam broke and the users fled. Advertisers followed. The platform that Wall Street analysts once believed was worth $12 billion went into a financial death spiral. In 2011, News Corp threw in the towel. They sold MySpace for a humiliating $35 million. That is a 94% loss on their initial investment.
The ultimate lesson here? It doesn't matter if you have all the money in the world. In the technology business, whoever owns the audience doesn't own the future. Not unless they relentlessly protect the user experience. If you remember customizing your MySpace page, you're officially part of internet history. And if stories like this interest you, stick around. There are plenty more internet empires that rose just as fast and fell even harder.